Today we're going to be talking about one of the most interesting mobile titles that has been in development over the last year and just sort of accidentally got released today. But we'll talk more about that in just a second, because today we're talking about Project BloodStrike, one of mobile gaming's newest FPS shooter battle royale titles that you might actually be able to play today ahead of time before the global launch, even without the use of a VPN. And that's the main reason I'm making this video, because a few weeks ago, Project BloodStrike tweeted something super interesting. They announced that they were intentionally setting the global launch date of their game to March 21st, which, as most of you know, just coincidentally happens to be the same day Warzone Mobile is globally launching. So I took note of that, but I also realized because the game is globally launching the same day as Warzone Mobile, I'm not going to get a chance to make content on it. And I've been following this game loosely over the last year or so. But today I woke up and saw some tweets that people were able to get access and download this game outside of the regions it's currently available in without the use of a VPN. So I went on my iPad, just searched up Project BloodStrike, and there it was. No VPN, no special account in North America and United States. I just had the game. So I'm not sure what has happened. They haven't made any statement still in their Discord or on Twitter about why people, I think it's in North America and in certain countries in Europe, they've just been able to get access to the game on iOS. I'm not sure about Android, but because it's a week before Warzone Mobile launch, I thought I would cover the game and just get my honest opinions on it. And what most likely is going to happen to the game when it globally launches right alongside Warzone Mobile. And also, yes, we are in a brand new apartment. Thought I would point that out. Funny enough, it actually looks like really similar to my old one. We're gonna decorate it. We're gonna put some stuff up soon. Just moved it a few days ago, but I thought I'd keep you guys in the loop. Now, if you aren't familiar with the developer of this game, the studio behind Project BloodStrike, NetEase, just to give a brief summary of some of the recent games they have developed and how they've ended up in the past few years. Well, my first encounter with them was with a game called Rules of Survival, which ended up getting sued by PUBG, and they lost that lawsuit and had to pay out a hefty fine to PUBG Mobile. Next up, they ended up creating a game called Creative Destruction, which is basically just a Fortnite mobile clone and a Fortnite mobile ripoff. Basically, people were only interested in that game because it came out before Fortnite actually came out on mobile devices, and then shortly after, people just pretty much stopped playing Creative Destruction. I think it was called Fortcraft at the time, and then that game only lasted about a year and a half or 2 years. And then most recently, I think it was earlier last year, NetEase created basically a Valorant mobile clone, a 5v5 tactical shooter with futuristic abilities and futuristic characters that was sued by Riot Games because it was such a carbon copy of the game that it was shut down, and now it has been relaunched in China under a different name. So you might be seeing a theme with NetEase that they like to copy games and release them around the time that other mobile games might be coming to market, or they just like taking the ideas of other very popular games and being the first ones to make them on mobile, albeit while just pretty much just ripping off the ideas of the game. And so that leads me into my point of Project BloodStrike. As when this game was first announced, a lot of people made the very obvious conclusion, and they were able to connect the dots, that this game is designed to be very similar to Warzone Mobile. There is a cache system. The combat looks incredibly similar to Warzone Mobile with the way the recoil works, the movement system, the slide canceling, the armor plates. The armor, I will say, is kind of a mix of Apex and Warzone. And there are definitely a few factors and features of this game that differentiate it from Warzone Mobile and kind of make it its own game. As my character here, we have our own little shield, and we can throw it up and we can put it down, and we're now shielded from the enemies, which is pretty cool. But by and large, the feel of this game and definitely the timing of this game makes it obvious that they're trying to appeal, at least. Oh my god, dude, who was just yelling in my ear? Jeez. NetEase is at the very least trying to appeal to players who might be interested in Warzone Mobile, which is why it was very interesting when a few days ago, or I think it was like a week or two ago, that they announced they would be willingly launching the game on March 21st. I think I first got my hands on Project BloodStrike, oh my gosh, about a year ago, back in 2023. And back then, I was like, wow, this is pretty impressive. It's smooth, it's optimized, it feels good. This might come out pretty soon. Unfortunately, it didn't, and I'm saying unfortunately because I think if Project BloodStrike would have come out around 6 months ago, then it would have had a pretty good chance of succeeding and actually getting a pretty big community and player base. If you guys have been seeing how hard Warzone Mobile has been going in terms of promotion and marketing and overall just getting people excited for the game, and just how much time and effort has been put into the game, you can definitely tell that the launch of Warzone Mobile is going to be a little bit bigger than Project BloodStrike's. So that's why it was pretty confusing to see that they made the deliberate choice to launch the game the same day Warzone Mobile is launching, but that also kind of reveals another one of their tactics or strategies that NetEase typically uses when it comes to developing mobile games, and it's just the fact that they just want their games to run on basically every device. You could probably tell by the graphics that they're not great. They're not bad graphics by any means, but the graphics aren't stunning. They're not like Apex Mobile Ultra graphics where they were amazing. They might have made the game not run that great, but they looked amazing. These are the ultra graphics. You can go here to graphics. Everything is on ultra frames, ultra resolution, ultra graphic quality, max FPS. And this looks like low quality for Call of Duty Mobile. Like, it just doesn't look great. The shadows are pretty basic. All the colors are pretty flat. Everything is just very basic. But the advantage of this is that this game can run on basically every phone in the world. Every Android device, every iOS device in the world, this game could basically run on. And that has been a big talking point recently of Warzone Mobile, is that the performance and the optimization of the game hasn't been stellar on low-end devices. And so it was pretty clear that when they made that announcement, that their goal of Project BloodStrike is basically to try to get players from Warzone Mobile and from the community of Call of Duty that are excited to play the game, but upon launch day might be disappointed with the performance of the game on their device, because realistically there will be some players out there with lower end device phones who might play the game on launch day and just might not be very satisfied with the performance. And I think that's where Project BloodStrike wants to sort of fill that gap, because this isn't Warzone Mobile, but it's similar enough to where I could see someone making that connection of going, it's pretty close, good enough, I'll play it for a little bit and see how it works out for me. Where I think Project BloodStrike has messed up big time is launching on the exact same day as Warzone Mobile, because to my knowledge, they don't have any partnerships lined up with any creators. They don't really have any publicity or marketing around their game. I'll put a screenshot up of their Facebook on the screen. Their Twitter only has around 10,000 followers. I think their Discord is also pretty small. So their overall community size is rather small. And to my knowledge, like I said, they don't have any creators, to my knowledge, lined up for content and for, just general promotion of the game. So on one hand, you have Activision, a $70 billion company who is marketing Warzone Mobile out the wazoo, launching their game on the same day as NetEase. And I think it's just going to be clear who the obvious winner is going to be in terms of garnering more interest. And I'm also pretty curious if Activision is going to take any stance against NetEase. I would have thought by now that if they thought this was too close to Warzone Mobile, or if they were stealing too many features, then they would have been sued by now and the game would have been shut down. Since the game is still up and it's been up for the last year, I don't think that's a problem NetEase has to worry about, but I think the main problem is just getting people interested in the game, because I think they've also been rocking the same map for the last year of the soft launch. And as you can see, there are loadouts in the game, which is another Warzone Mobile feature. There's redeploy, there's buy stations around the map, there's the vehicles. Again, just a very similar feel and overall aesthetic and gameplay of that to Warzone Mobile. And even now, I don't have an FPS counter, but I am feeling my frames dip a little bit, which is a little concerning, because this is a 2021 iPad Pro, and I thought this game was supposed to be like super duper optimized. Yeah, definitely lagging here a little bit, but I still wanted to make this video because, again, we are a week out from Warzone Mobile's launch. I was just never gonna make this video once Warzone Mobile had launched, and also I'd been covering this game for the last few months, or about the last year. I had made some videos talking about it. Honestly, my excitement for it, I was pretty excited for it, but ultimately they just kind of took forever to come out with the game, and that's been, in my opinion, the downfall of a lot of recent mobile games. Is they announce it, they put the game in soft launch, and then it just takes forever for the game to actually finally come out, and so most of the hype dies down. And so I really have seen almost no buzz, no hype, no interest around this game today, even with the announcement that most people can go and probably play it right now. And again, if you ask 100 gamers on the day of Warzone Mobile global launch which game they're going to download first, 99 of them are probably going to say Warzone Mobile. But I think if they did a better job of launching the game earlier and building up that hype and awareness, then this could have been a different story, completely different picture, and the game could have seen a massive amount of success. And I know this video has been mostly in a negative light, and by no means do I want this game to fail. I think there is always a space, there's always a community for every game that comes out, especially on mobile. There's still a lot of gaps in the market, but I think this one is just really weird because they're basically just releasing like a worse Warzone mobile, but the only thing that is better is it's better for low-end devices, which again, it might play out tremendously in their favor. Time will just have to tell, as obviously I am not someone in their like key target demographics that they're going after. Also, I've played a few games before this, and I don't think I've encountered a single real player, which isn't a great sign, because even in Warzone mobile lobbies, a game that's technically only out in like 4 countries or 5 countries, those lobbies are still super sweaty. But I'm pretty sure these have like only been bots. Even my teammates are only bots. And again, another really fast way to kill a battle royale is to have the lobbies just filled with bots. And so if you aren't able to get enough players interested in the game to then populate the lobbies with real players, it's just kind of this cascading effect where then no one plays. And because no one's playing, it's more bots, and more bots means no one's playing. So it's this kind of negative feedback loop that if they're not able to have a big enough launch, then they really might just be shooting themselves in the foot. And again, I don't know why they're willingly choosing to launch on the day of the biggest mobile gaming launch in the last like 2 years. It's a very odd strategy. Maybe it plays out for them. Maybe they got the biggest brains and they know something I don't. But one thing is for certain, I will definitely be watching from the sidelines to see how this game pans out. I'll be rooting for it. I hope it succeeds. But from all the points I've laid out in today's video, they had a monumental task to try to achieve a player base that will actually play the game and let it succeed in the first place. Because I think Warzone Mobile is going to be sucking up a large percentage of the players who would be interested in playing this game in the first place. And so, with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Are you gonna try out BloodStrike? Has its time already passed? Were you interested in it before and now you're not? It's just a really fascinating situation for me, and I'm curious to see how other people interpret what is going on here. So, with all that being said, it's beautiful DuckyTheGamer. Thanks for watching today's video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.